up until now, my feeling has been when you are a woman and you say these things have happened against me, especially to some degree when you're someone who's sort of, you're trying to be taken seriously politically and on the right wing of politics, when you turn around and say all these things happened, very often people take the idea of, oh, wow, she's Me Too movement. Oh, well, no smoke without fire. Sometimes you feel like you actually can't talk because it might end up ruining your reputation.
It's a bit, they say it's a bit of banter, don't they?
Yeah.
They say it was a bit of banter.
Well,
yes, it's true. But I mean, this shouldn't be tolerated in any workplace, and especially in a public workplace like the BBC, like Talk, like GB News. You know,
well,
and well done to the BBC if they've turned this around so quickly and actually said, all right, mate, you're on your bike. You know, they've done very well, and there will be others who will be on their bike. Maybe even in GB News, maybe in ITV, who knows where? Because you know there is now a movement against bad workplace behaviour, and it shouldn't be tolerated.
No, it absolutely shouldn't. But I wonder, actually, you know, the BBC is an enormous organisation in terms of the broadcasters. It's by far the biggest in this country. It's huge.
Yeah.
You know, where there is a greater population of staff, there's going to be a greater population of these sorts of incidents taking place. It employs a huge amount of talent as well, some of whom might be, as you described, profiled in that way, sort of the egos get above themselves and then they behave inappropriately. If the BBC did start clamping down on everything, might it start having a reputational impact on the BBC itself?
I don't know, Alex. It's got 19,000 employees. It's got 5,000 in news alone. You know, I'm sure if you turn up all the stones, there'll be moss underneath them. So you know, they have to be a bit careful. But of course, the reputational damage. But this is not about the BBC. It's about human failure. You know, it's about people who can't behave properly.
Well, I could name some of them, but alas, I am not going to. You'll have to wait for my memoirs to come out. I'll tell you afterwards. Anyway, thank you ever so much. It's been brilliant speaking to you again. And, well, Alan, before we go to break, I mean, you know, it is interesting. Showbiz, people think, oh, isn't it lovely? Isn't it shiny? And what we're beginning to learn, and what we've probably known for quite some time, is some people get shrouded, don't they, in all sorts of protections because they're regarded as the talent. And increasingly now, you know, some of these organisations are having to show, like the BBC have just done, that they're going to deal with this, and it could be a bit of a reckoning. We saw this, of course, with, you know, Hollywood in America and Harvey Weinstein and all of that. Do you think we're set to have our own Me Too movement over here?
Well, it'd be interesting just to see what the details actually end up being here, because it's extraordinary to see the BBC take this action so summarily. I mean, if you look at the Hugh Edwards thing, sure, I mean, the BBC, it turned out, knew all about it from day one and did very little. So what is it that Jermaine Jenas has done? What is it, really, that's given them the confidence that they can sack him straight away? I think part of it is understanding the details and getting to know what the heck is going on in that situation, because, you know, I think he was sacked live on air, wasn't he?
Wow.
I think he was on a programme but sacked from the BBC while he was live on air, so I don't really understand what went on there. It must have been so clear-cut, so, you know, devastating that they couldn't keep him on there. And I guess you should give them praise for that they have acted quickly, given what must be overwhelming evidence.
Yeah, now, you know, I'm not the sort of woman who goes, oh, someone's a wolf whistled at me. I'm not, but it is horrible when these things happen to you in the workplace, as a woman or a man, actually, because when you look at Parliament, a lot of the people who are harassed and treated appallingly are young gay men. I mean, we don't talk about that either. And you can have female bosses who are bad as well. So it's not just a woman-only issue. But if you are in a situation where you are in a workplace where someone's making your life a misery and you essentially don't want to go into work because you live in fear of that particular person and what they're going to do, it ain't good. And it must stop.